Podcast City Network.
Thank you for tuning in on this episode of The Everett Lee Show. But before we get on with the guest onto the program today, there's a couple things I do want to mention that you can help out with supporting The Everett Lee Show. If you're looking to start a podcast and already have a podcast and you're looking for an affordable podcasting hosting site, Podbeam's your number one choice. Podbeam offers statistics with in-depth analytics to manage your podcast needs. Use the promo code podbeam.com/pbsignup and get a free month off. That's podbeam.com/pbsignup to get a free month off and see why 1,500 episodes have been shared all over the world in the past 11 years with over 3,000 subscribers that have chose Podbeam as their number one hosting site. And if you're looking to get into advertising, Podbeam advertising, you'll get $100 off advertising when you sign up as a sponsorship over on podbeam.com/pro/pbsignup. That's podbeam.com/pro/pbsignup.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show.
All right, welcome to The Everett Lee Show. I'm the Everett Lee. Want to give a quick shout out to everyone who follows me on social media and, of course, Podcast C Network, the official host of The Everett Lee Show. On the program today, returning for a fourth time, is none other than film producer and director of movies such as Hot Mess and A Wedding Dress and one of the owners of Bouncy Boxer Media. I want to welcome back to the program, Stefanie Davis.
Woohoo! Thanks for having me again.
No problem. Always a fun time. Always a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
And joining me on the program for her first podcast is none other than, I'm going to mess this up. Already starting, man. Oh, I haven't even started drinking yet. How do you pronounce your name?
Talking about
Daryen Ratte.
Daryen Ratte. Me and Stefanie were talking about, I was asking her, it's like, how do you pronounce your last name? And she says it's pronounced Ratte. It's French. Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So, what have y'all been up to since this pandemic? I know, Stefanie, I've watched and seen post on Facebook at the beginning of this year. Everyone post up on Facebook, hey, this is going to be a great year. I got this going on. I got that. And then all of a sudden, everything stops. What have you been doing with yourself since the pandemic hit? What happened? What changed? Everything?
Yeah. Well, the year started out pretty great. I actually drove up to Utah to go see Sundance and attended for the first time ever. I volunteered. It was really amazing. Such a cool experience, a great drive. Got home, did a couple gigs in Atlanta, and then they were talking about how, I think some of our gigs are going to be canceled. Like, why? They're like, this COVID-19 thing. And then all of a sudden, nothing. And they're like, all of the work stopped. And I have been home since March. And you know me, I don't stay home for very long.
No.
So it's been different. But I'm kind of transitioning into getting a different survival job and just kind of embracing full-time Tampa life.
Nice. How's life for you, Daryen, been since the pandemic? What's the same thing? What's changed, and what have you been doing with your time?
A lot. Half the year I'm also traveling, but I do Renaissance festivals, which is a blast. And the last festival I did was at the beginning of the pandemic. And everybody's like, are you guys going to stay open? I'm like, I don't know. It's really hard to be sanitary right now. We're going to try. And about 3 weeks into the fair, they're like, nah, we're closing. We have to put up more sanitizer. We have to figure out something. This can't happen. The city's shutting us down. And I was like, okay. So luckily, I was in Tampa, my home show, whenever it happened. So I was able to just be like, all right, I just guess I'm going to lay low for a little bit. And the shows that I perform with started converting into like a digital form where we would do online videos and have virtual tipping that way.
Right.
And I started writing new shows with my friend, and we were able to come up with something cool doing that in a pandemic safe, mindful way. Wrote a new show, which is really hard for the Renaissance Festival because it's usually very audience participant involved. So we had to write a whole new show not involving any audience participation. So whenever fairs do happen, we're ready and we can stay distance. So that's really cool. So that's what I've been doing, is just writing new things and
playing in mud.
Yeah.
I seen your Facebook profile there with you. That I thought that was pretty cool there, holding up who is that in the picture with you, if you don't mind me asking?
Show partner, that is Dan Fox. He has this whole Renaissance Festival mud show circuit thing where there's different shows, or there's different stories, like fairy tale stories that have gone wrong involving mud. So it's kind of like an acrobatic thing, but also just a chaotic thing at the same time, and it's all comedy, and it's lovely. And I don't know any other venue that can have comedy in the mud. That children are like,
yeah.
Is that where you went, Stefanie? Because I know I've seen some videos a while back ago with you like throwing an axe, like.
Oh no, that was in Wesley Chapel. They had a country music festival a couple weekends ago, and we're outside, so we're all very social distance. We had masks and stuff, and this axe throwing company, they were coming around to all the vendors because it was slow on Sunday. He's like, "Y'all want to do it?" I'm like, I've always wanted to do that. There was a lot of very bad attempts, one of which went over the thing. And then the one right after that, I hit the bullseye. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the one with the bullseye, man. I thought that was awesome, man.
Well, on social media, you only show the good stuff. So many failed attempts.
That's something I would like to try. At least give it a try once.
It's really fun, and there's like a cool technique to it, but it's super fun.
Yeah.
I feel like the places are popping up everywhere. Like it's to throw axes in a safe environment.
With beer.
Hey, it's like, what else are you going to do during this pandemic? I mean, for instance, I ended up getting, for the company I work for, I travel around to different shops, and they pretty much in March 13th, they're like, we're shutting them down, but you all can still come to work. And so for the hospital I work for the hospice part. And we ended up having to go to the care centers, and we had to work at the care centers, and I worked at the care center in the kitchen fixing breakfast, lunch, and dinner for hospice patients. And I learned how to make an omelet.
That's the hardest thing to make.
I know. I did it. It's like, how the fuck am I going to make an omelet? Like, how am I going to do this? So I ended up pulling out my phone, YouTube, thank God.
Hey.
Oh, okay. All right. Easy. So did it like nothing, made it look like a professional, something to get an IHOP, man.
There you go.
So ended up doing that, and in April they put us on furlough. So from April till about June, I sat at home. I was Mr. Mom. One thing I got to do was finally, me and my wife finally got to potty train our 3-year-old, man. Finally, that was hell. It's like, we got time to do it. So we did it, and Callie learned how to use the potty on her own, which is fantastic. And just during that time, worked a lot with the podcasting network. We planned on going big like everybody else, and then everything bad hit. I mean, the one thing, we got LLC, which I thought was pretty cool. We finally got that done. We're official company. It's not like, we're a company. Oh, that's nice. It's like, yes. It's like we're serious. It's like, yes,
legit.
We're finally legit. And then just the whole time I was collecting unemployment and just paying my bills, just doing things, and And then also
Yeah,
now,
the unemployment process in Florida sucks.
yes, it does. It does. I ended up going on, I think it was like about 3:00 in the morning to do like unemployment to get through, because it was no one's on. And I know.
Well, then they shut it down to where you couldn't get into it until like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Restricted on it now.
That's ridiculous.
I still haven't gotten through.
I got a little bit, and then they were like, "And you're done." Like, okay.
Yeah, after I think the second day, third day, my wife was like, because I was like depressed about it. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm laying around the house. You get to do unemployment? Yeah. You do unemployment? Yeah. Finally, she pulled me off the couch. Get your ass on the computer, do the unemployment. Okay. So I finally did. She walked through with me and helped me, start drawing unemployment and paying my bills, doing everything, and then getting called back to work out of the blue.
That's good.
Didn't expect that, because it was like, all right, I guess for the next few more months, I'm going to be doing this, doing that, and then all of a sudden get called back to work and getting back in the swing of things. It took a while because I was staying up late, like 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, got the
Time is lost during the pandemic.
Yeah. Got to stay up, stayed up till like 3:00 in the morning, watching. Of course, I watched
everything.
Netflix. Yeah, I finished watching
everything.
I ended up watching the Marvel MCU shows on there. I never finished them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, finally watched them. Finally finished it, and then just pretty much watched like Tiger King, like everybody else.
Yep. I was gonna say Tiger King is the quarantine bingo.
Yep. Ended up doing that, and just working on other things, doing a lot of podcasts, and that pretty much kept myself busy. But I pretty much got used to it, and I'm like, I don't want to go back to work.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to work, but it seems like things are slowly kind of getting back in the norm. I know I've seen like Chelsea put something up in Tampa there where when they opened up all the bars, they had to close them back down. I mean,
now the only bars that are open are ones that serve food.
Yeah. Same thing here. One of our sponsors, City Limits Tap Room in DeLand, the owner, I've been talking with him since like 2016. He's like one of my oldest sponsors, and he was pretty upset about it, man, because it was like, what the hell, man, you're killing my business. All these small businesses I felt bad for, man. And then I talked to doing podcasts. I talked to a couple of my independent film directors as yourself there, and they pretty much production got halted on stuff they were doing. And Thomas Ryan, he was lucky because he was already doing in pre-production, so it didn't really affect him too much. But shooting schedules, that's just all messed up for everyone. I know. Yeah. You had film festivals planned, and that pretty much didn't happen. A lot
of them have moved online, which has been a little tricky for some people. A couple of my screenplays were supposed to be at a festival, and they moved to online. So we've been doing like the Zoom Q&As and stuff. And so it's a little different, but it's kind of nice too that some of these festivals that I wouldn't be able to attend, I can attend online now instead of having to fly all the way to somewhere to go to Catalina. Instead, I can get the online experience with Catalina.
Okay. That's amazing. That's amazing. You ever been to any of the film festivals, Daryen?
I've only been to the Tampa and the underground film festivals here locally. I haven't actually been to like a big, huge, curated festival before, but it sounds awesome. Yeah.
I always like to just experience, go to one. I haven't done.
Oh, they're great.
That's something on my bucket list. Eventually, I'll get to just go and just check out one. I know one I will recommend in Florida is the Vero Beach Wine and Film Festival. There's food and wine every single screening, and the people there are so passionate about film, and it's so fun. We screened there one year, and they housed me in one of the donors, they had this above their garage loft kind of thing, and I stayed there, and I'm like, this looks more expensive than any apartment I would ever be able to find. They were so nice, and it was so warm and hospitable, and
pack screenings, and it's like a retirement community, but everybody there is just so excited about the arts and very supportive. And there's so much wine. So much. It was great.
I know you love wine. I know you love wine.
Oh yeah.
I know you love wine as much as I love drinking Yeeling. So that's pretty cool. That is. Now, Daryen. Now, being I did watch. I do have to say this, Stephanie. I did the other night. Was going through Bouncy Boxer Media on YouTube, and I did get to watch I Now Pronounce You. And I noticed one of the bridesmaids was Daryen there, just right there, and pretty different from Hot Mess in a Wedding Dress. And I do want to congratulate you on that there, Stephanie. I mean, just the reviews and success of of Hot Mess in a Wedding Dress. I love that movie. I finally got my wife to sit down and watch it with me, and she enjoyed it. Yeah, we pulled it up there and watched it, and she liked it. She did. I mean,
it's been fun. It's been neat, and I've learned a lot from the first time of self-distributing it. So with Christmas Ride, I'm taking everything that I've learned from Hot Mess, and we're gonna make Christmas Ride even more.
Yeah. That's amazing. That is.
Yeah.
Now, when I was looking up some information there on IMDb of you, Daryen. There's not really much on there. Not much of a bio, except like 3 movies on there. I did watch the trailer for Elfie. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Oh my god! Yep. Happening.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of almost like Elf, Will Ferrell from the trailer.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. It's adorable, actually. I really enjoyed that experience. It was I'm only in a little bit, so I've only experienced a little bit of that whole setup and everything, but it was very cute. It's very cute.
That's awesome. So how long have you been acting? How long have you been doing it?
Well, I'm more of a live theater actress, honestly. So I've been doing live theater since I was about 9. With like Christmas Carol, I was Tiny Tim, and just going through school and everything, doing theater, college. And then I started working at Busch Gardens. I performed there seasonally as well, doing their Halloween and Christmas stuff. And that's how I met Stefanie, actually.
Yeah.
There's a lot of creative people that just come in and out of Busch, and because it's just this local arts job, and you meet so many amazing people. That's why I met her. And through her, I have networked with so many people and went to the local film festivals and met directors and other actors that way. And then I got really involved with live performance in the Renaissance Festival community and started traveling the country doing that, which has been amazing as well. Living in a tent's not fun, but the places I go are beautiful. So I'm young, I'm resilient. It's okay right now. But I've been doing a lot of live performance, which they both have a really special place in my heart. There's this really great energy that you get from live performance that you can't really get anywhere else. So I love that, but I also love the intimacy of screen performance as well.
Right.
So that whole new challenge with this project, having a camera on me the entire time. I'm like, how do I breathe? For years, I've been doing stage performance, but Stefanie was the first person, was one of the people that really was a champion for me getting on screen. She said, you're too talented to just be doing one type of performance. You need to try this out. You need to see how you feel behind the camera because you've got it. And so she really was the one who spearheaded me getting comfortable in front of a camera, and I'm really grateful because whenever all you do is stage performance, it feels so foreign. It feels like you don't really know where to put your foot in the door with they're so separate. So
yeah,
it's been really nice to have somebody on the inside be like, hey, try it out, be an extra, be a supporting.
Well, you were a unicorn, and it was perfect.
Yeah, because when I watch, I Now Pronounce You, because when I search you on YouTube there, and when I saw I Now Pronounce You, I was like, oh, she was in that. I was like, so I was like, and I was looking, because before you had the trailer, just the trailer up there, Stephanie, and then you had the festival cut. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. I've been wanting to see this, because I didn't see it before I saw Hot Mess. So it was totally different. And,
very different, yeah.
Yeah, way different. But I mean, it was great. It was, and just how that went right there. That the story and stuff was totally different stuff. But you did see. I do hate to ask this question, but you did see Hot Mess, didn't you, Daryen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
I'm biased because they're all my friends, so I think they're all big. But I loved it. I thought it was a totally different angle on the whole, yay, we're getting married, girl, like it's in the girls' night out type of situation. I just thought it was it kind of flipped it on its head a little bit.
Yeah.
It was very alternative. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that it was again, it was like way different, because I know, like, I was cracking up on I Now Pronounce You when Chelsea was the
officiate.
And it's like, I can watching her now, I can almost tell when she's doing when she's adding more to it, because when she pulled out the flask and started drinking it, I was like, that was her. That was her.
It has a theme of flasks. Notice she always has.
She always has a flask.
I don't know, but at least on.
I think it's in her contract. She either has to drink wine or there has to be a flask.
Chelsea needs a flask.
Wow, that's great. That's great. But I mean, with Hot Mess, I keep going back to that and stuff. It's just I enjoyed that film so much. But then when I saw the post that you were kicking around another idea for your next movie there, because you put up a post about doing a Christmas movie. I was like, you know what? There hasn't been any really new Christmas movies in a long time. I can't remember the last new Christmas movie. I think the one with Kurt Russell on Netflix, that was about the only one I know of there. But
I mean, Hallmark does like 100 of them a year.
Yeah.
I don't watch Hallmark. The only time I watch Hallmark is when my mom's over. That's it. When she stays the night to watch my daughter. That's the only time.
See, that's why we made the Christmas Ride, because it's not a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yeah. I just when I did hear about that and the idea, and when you put is it the Christmas Ride or a Christmas Ride?
The Christmas Ride.
Yeah, when you put the Christmas Ride, at first I was thinking to myself, I'm like, what can this be about? And then when you saw The Christmas Ride by Stefanie Davis, it was like, this is going to be good. It's like, I didn't know if it was going to be a comedy or what. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's a little different.
What is it? And it was. This movie was totally different. When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, wow, this is interesting, just having the whole story and the concept behind it and stuff. I do want to mention this right here. I want to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive more into the conversation right here. But first, there's a couple things I do want to mention. Since 1995, HighSpots.com has grown to be the company it is by serving the wrestling fans throughout the world with a great selection of merchandise. HighSpots.com has everything a wrestling fan could want, including the latest WWE and TNA releases, classic wrestling merchandise, and their HighSpots.com exclusive releases. HighSpots.com is the leading online retailer for professional wrestling and mixed martial arts, offering autographs, figures, DVDs, apparel, wrestling gear, and even wrestling rings. Their largest clients include WWE, Impact Wrestling, ROH, and AEW. Click on the High Spots logo on the Everett Lee Show page over on podcasty.net to order. Whether you are a wrestling fan, pro wrestler, or promoter, you can find what you're looking for at highspots.com.
If you grew up as a kid in the 1980s or just a fan of 1980s pop culture, then 80 Tees is for you. 80 Tees sells a huge variety of licensed t-shirts featuring characters, movies, TV shows, video games, and music stars from the 1980s through today. They also have great costumes from 80s pulp culture too. 80tees.com sells officially licensed pulp culture t-shirts. As you might guess, their focus is on the 1980s, but do sometimes sell other cool pop culture related tees. 80s Tees has been in business since 2000, meaning they like retro 80s stuff too before it was cool. Follow the link provided in the description section of this episode for more. 80stees.com.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show.
When you were writing the Christmas ride, did you already have in your head that you wanted Daryen to be the lead, or what?
I did.
How did that process go of coming up with the Christmas ride and the idea behind that?
Yeah. So when I came home from being out of town for 7 months and just been itching to do something, itching to create something. And I got home in like early November. I'm like, well, Christmas is coming up. I've always wanted to do something with Christmas. You know, you always want to prove yourself to do Christmas. If like eventually I want to pitch to Hallmark, it's like, well, I need to prove that I know Christmas before I pitch to them. So I know Daryen is the epitome of Christmas. So I had written out this long outline about just kind of this different story about an Uber driver who encounters so many different aspects of Christmas and how she reacts to it. And we had tea one day and I was telling her about it. I'm like, what do you think? Like, and she goes, oh, cool. Like, what's the script? I'm like, there is none. She's like, oh, okay. So I'm like, this outline, that's the script. We're going to go mumblecore. And mumblecore is completely improvised. So the actors they know their characters. They know, I give them their color palette because I do different colors for different feelings. Mm-hmm. And then I've already picked out the music before they even come on. So they know the tone of their scene and they know their situation. And we go in the car and we just drive for a bit and just let them play. And every single one of the actors that I used are improv trained and they're very skilled in just going with it and just having fun with it and their own continuity. And it was a blast. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I remember seeing the pictures of you in the car with the camera and just sitting there just going along for the ride and stuff. I mean, I thought it was neat because for some reason it reminded me of Quentin Tarantino when I was watching. This is fun. I know that sounds kind of funny. But Jackie Brown, I'm a Quentin Tarantino fan. I love his movies. Jackie Brown is one of my favorites that he did. I remember watching like a behind the scenes talking about Jackie Brown where Quentin was sitting in the car and he was filming. And he would try to make the cast laugh because he'd come in wearing a kilt or something, some outfit, and they're doing a serious scene. Yeah, and he'd sit there and he would try to make them break character. And most of the time it worked, most of the time it didn't. But I mean, just the idea of just riding around, holding the camera. You pretty much hold the camera the whole time.
Yeah, it's handheld the whole time. I'm the only crew member. So I had lavs attached to them. I would hold a boom. This sounds dirty. The boom pole was between my legs and pointing at a character while I have the camera. And we're just going for it. Like the sound mixer's at my feet and I've got the camera in my hands, and they're having fun. We do one angle at a time, and then I'll turn over to the other angle. And the idea is that the audience is in the car with Georgia. They're in the empty seat because it's never fully full because obviously I have to be in the car somehow.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's 3 characters, which kind of throws it off a little bit, but the idea is that you're in the car with her, experiencing this day with her.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Now, when Stephanie's sitting there filming you when you're driving down the road, Daryen, how was that? How was that having a camera like right up on you? I mean, while you're driving, you ever experienced anything like that? You know?
I funny videos with my friends in the car, but that's not safe. But she's like, you know, she gave me a couple pointers. She's like, you know, I might need you to look back and make a little eye contact with them. But, you know, of course, be safe driving. But know that she was helping me kind of hone in on film acting versus theater acting. I don't have to be big. I don't have to overreact. I don't have to do any of that because the camera's right there. So it was little subtle things like fixing my hair and or looking up in the rear view mirror. So I was driving like normal, and it is kind of hard to think about what you're saying as you're driving. But that's the cool thing about being improv trained is like you're used to being thrown into situations and just go. So like when we first started, I was a little nervous. I felt my voice kind of shaking. But as I got more comfortable with the character and comfortable with driving through Tampa, while doing this improv, it was pretty good. We did not get in an accident. I will say that.
No. I mean, we stayed pretty, like, we would drove pretty straight for a long time, and then we'd take a pause and be like, okay, let's make a U-turn, let's go the other way, and then we'll go straight for quite a bit. Like, anytime that she needed to turn or whatnot, we really didn't do a whole lot. But it's supposed to feel like that because, like, rideshare drivers, they tend to talk and have to navigate at the same time, too. So it came very natural, and Daryen knocked it out of the ballpark. It was amazing.
Yeah, she did an amazing job. She did, and I like especially the opening of the movie.
Yeah,
classic Bouncy Boxer Media opening, like any movie, which has become like almost like a signature for you there, Stephanie. Which I love that, and just the beginning of it there of Daryen's character Georgia sitting down, video chatting with her dad who's up in New York, and then just celebrating Christmas and just seeing that father-daughter relationship. I think that was really good there. I mean, it started out really warm, and you're like, this is great because you're sitting there talking back and forth. Dad wanting to know, it's like, so what are you going to do with your day today on Christmas, and what are you going to do with your day today? And just I love that. I mean, now George's father's in New York, but apparently he was down here in Tampa.
He's in the same room.
Yeah. But with that there, now, Daryen, did you get with the actor? What's the actor's name that played
Austin?
Did you guys get together and kind of like work it out there of how, like with working out the father and daughter vibe, how you were going to do that, or how did that go about?
We had a group chat, actually. Stephanie, Austin, and I all had a group chat and on Facebook. And we're talking about like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, because he was also in I Now Pronounce You and in BS Meeting. So I met him years ago. He's a great comic artist, so I've been his friend on Facebook, following his like cool zombie art and stuff like that for years. But I knew of him and I respected him as a performer, so I was really excited to work with him. So whenever I heard he was going to be my dad, I was like, oh, I'm a fan of this person. I already really enjoy him as an actor. I love his reel. If you haven't seen it, it's great. So I was really pumped that he was going to be playing my dad. So I already have a genuine like love for this person, and I already admire him a lot. Right. And then I didn't even realize how he is a real dad, but how good at improv and just coming up with the most emotional right thing to say in the moment. That entire trailer is mostly him improving to me, and I was just, I was holding my phone, in the shot, like, well, that's good. He's pretty good. So I was like waiting to talk, and I was like, thanks, Dad. Like, it's genuine because he's so good at acting. He acted so hard. So we didn't meet up or anything. We just showed up, and I literally had just woken up. I was like, I'm not drinking the coffee until after this scene. I need to capture this. So got it. Naked. And we did. And I think it's actually the last shot we did before we wrapped. So we did the whole thing, and then that was it. And I feel like I had developed the character so much. Mm-hmm. He had been prepping so much that it was just ready for them to meet. I was my full character, and he was ready to react to that. And I think that's the magic. And what brought that sentimental value to it was that we were both ready emotionally.
That's amazing, man. That is right there, because it seemed like it seemed like it came natural for both of you, because at that opening scene there, and in the middle of the movie there, when you talk to him again about telling about your day and stuff, and I think that's to me was a pivotal moment in the movie that made Georgia go back out and try to help people, because I mean she wanted to make a couple extra bucks, and just that roller coaster of happy to sad to angry, just all that emotion. And when I was watching it, because I watched it twice. When I went back again and watched it a second time, I'm sitting there, and it was at the part where Georgia picked up the two brothers that were going to go meet friends at the park.
That was a fun scene.
Yeah, that right there, to me, it hit me. I'm like, you know what? This is real. It's like, this is real. It captures the realism of conversations in the car, because any conversation can basically happen in a car, and especially with being like an Uber driver and stuff. I mean, I've rode like an Uber like twice last year when me and my wife went over to the beachside Daytona to celebrate our wedding anniversary, and we went out and we took an Uber to downtown Main Street in Daytona, and then I got shit-faced and she called it Uber. I don't remember the ride back. She reminded me the next morning, believe it or not. She reminded me the next morning. I wake up and I'm like in the bed, and I'm like, I wake up, shoes way over here, shoes over here, and she's like, oh, you're awake. You remember what happened last night? No, what happened? And then she's telling me, and then she tells me we have to Uber ride back home. Back to
see, I've been a rideshare driver, so I've had those passengers.
I was the Uber passenger where when the Uber driver picked us up, I got in the car. I thought this Uber driver was the best Uber driver in the world, because they picked me up and I loved them for it. That's what
I thought about doing like a funny drunk scene too, but I'm like, not too many people get too shit-faced on Christmas, so
yeah, except the crazy uncle, which I experienced here before. but that's a whole different story. But sorry, uncle. but just the realism of the Christmas ride. That's what I loved about this. And I mean, it totally caught me by surprise with how different this was from going from Hot Mess to going to this right here. It's like
there are no cuss words in this movie.
I made sure not to say shit.
I had to cut out a part that Rebecca did because she had said shit, and I'm like, no, I can't use that.
That, I mean, it's still without the language, it's still good. It's still a good movie. It captures that realism. It does. And one of the scenes I got to point out is when you're singing Daryen in the car. Did Stefanie say just pick a Christmas song, or was it sing?
Exactly what we did.
We did that a couple times, actually. We did a couple songs, and she's like, pick one. I'm like, and whenever you're on the spot, all you can think of is like one song. And and you're stuck with that song. And she's like, how about this one? I'm like, okay. And then she's like, well, for this scene, I want you to be more solemn. So maybe something a little older, and she's like, what about Silent Night? And I was like, oh, you want to wreck people? Okay. And so I got into this character, and I started singing, and she didn't say any, we finished filming me singing, and I was like, just breathing. After like a solid 30 seconds passes, she goes, okay, I got the shot.
I know that one's my favorite. Like, one of my favorite moments is because we did it a couple times, and this is supposed to be after the guy who got a divorce, who isn't able to see his kid for Christmas.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you just dropped him off, and he just unloaded everything on you, and then we filmed it. And the funny thing is that there was a couple bumps and whatnot when I did it, but I'm like, I don't care. Like, it's still like one of my favorite moments, because like she made me cry behind the camera, and I always know that I want that shot if I'm like feeling really emotional behind the camera.
Yeah, I noticed that too with the bumps. She's sitting there silent night.
Yeah, it works.
Cuckoo. I was like, man, Tampa has more potholes.
Fix your roads. Yeah,
I know.
They got more potholes than Daytona Beach does.
Oh my gosh.
But
we both kept blanking on Christmas songs, and then it's funny, like while I was editing, I'm like, damn it, we should have done this one. Oh man, we should have done this one. There's so many. Worked.
Yeah.
That's
donkey song at one point. I don't know. There's like
yeah, you're like Dominic the Christmas donkey. I'm like, what is that?
I panicked.
It's funny talking about Christmas songs. My 3-year-old, just one day, just out of the blue, the other day, she just started singing Jingle Bells. When she was on the potty, she was singing Jingle Bells.
Hey, whatever works.
Exactly. Because she was in there, and all of a sudden I heard her just singing Jingle Bells. I mean, she was getting into it, just sitting there. I was like, all right, you go, girl.
The potty. That's the real world. The words when you're using the potty. It's Tinkle Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Tinkle Bell. She's quick. She picks up on things. My wife likes watching that TV show. She found out that they have on the binge watch section on Pluto TV of TV shows. My wife likes watching the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader show, and yeah, so my daughter yesterday saw mommy watching it, so Callie decided to get up in front of the TV and was trying to mimic. I was like, yeah, she was doing like everything. We're sitting there, like, my wife put it up on Facebook there, and people were laughing. They were like, wow. I was like, I put the GIF up. You go, that's my girl. Yeah, me and my wife, we talked about that. It's like next year we'll get her to dance and just start getting her into doing different things and stuff. And I mean, she has talent for it there. And just whatever she wants to do when she gets older, I'm going to support her 100%.
There you go.
Yeah. I love her. She's a character. She's funny. I even got her hooked up on here one day with the mic and headphones. I got the recording. I got to find it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that needs to be an episode.
I think I will, because I think if I can remember back, she's singing Frozen to me, because at that time she was really into Frozen. Yeah, she loves that stuff. But I mean, Christmas, just her trying to understand Christmas last year, it was like she opened up all her gifts, and she kept on wanting to open up gifts. So she grabbed mommy and daddy's gifts, and she figured, just you get these gifts and open them up. And she's singing Jingle Bells while she's doing it. But I did like that scene right there, where after that emotional part with the guy, with his son and everything, that was really emotional. And I loved how it started out with the elderly couple, and how it was like, oh, this is great. And then of course the parents by Evie there from Hot Mess.
Yes.
I'm like regressing her. I've married her twice. Now she's engaged. I'm like, eventually you're just going to be a shell of human emotion. She's like, great.
She has an arc.
Yeah. It's a backwards arc.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. And then all of a sudden with the quick like switching to different drivers in there, you had some that's like, I don't like Christmas, to the guy in the suit complaining about, kids want this and that, and then just George's face, she driving, she's like, like whatever. I was like,
by then.
I felt the same thing, man. I felt the same thing. It's like these kids wanting, and all their wanting stuff, and then the girlfriend decided
broke up with her.
Yeah, that there, right there, and then you had the one girl who was going to go meet her
the family.
Yeah, just different things there, and then you just you had all the good and you threw in the bad. It's like, okay, now where's the bad? Here's the bad here and there.
No, it's coming.
it came, man. It definitely came there. But a lot of the like different characters and different people, which I enjoyed about this, because not one person was of the same or just whatever. I mean, Georgia interact with them is like, how you doing? Being really friendly and warm and cheery. I love that. I definitely love that. And then after she talked with her father, just going back out there and picking up the two passengers. One of my favorite scenes there is just how you shot that, Stefanie, because you had Georgia, you had Daryen in the car, just driver. Then you had the front passenger. Then you had the other passenger. But then you cut it to where you were in the passengers. How did you do that? Because I'm like, how is she doing this? How? So
I would shoot Daryen and then Kelly, who was right behind her, because they started the scene out. I was able to be in one seat to do both of that at the same time. And then we had Stefanie, who was the shared driver that came in. I just continue on with Kelly and Daryen's coverage. And then once we felt like we got Kelly done, we wrapped her out. And then I moved over into Kelly's seat to do all of Stefanie's coverage from when she came in until going out. So that way Kelly wasn't just sitting around doing nothing for a while, just kind of trying to be efficient and keep the momentum going. And both of them their stories were about toxic families, which a lot of people don't talk about in Christmas too. Yeah. And that happens a lot, especially around the holidays, because you feel obligated to go see family members. But if you don't have a good relationship with those family members, then it just kind of brings you down. And those two had these really great stories in mind to play on with it, that it just really made it neat and a nice break from after she talks to her dad to now having these three very emotionally charged passengers, and like you really feel for everybody towards the end. Yeah.
I mean that scene right there. I mean, towards the end of the movie there, approaching that scene there, Daryen. How did you approach that? Because you showed a lot of emotion during that.
Yeah, the beach scene.
I don't want to give too much away, but how did you approach that with the emotion?
So I might have lied earlier. That wasn't the last shot we did. That was the last shot of that week when I filmed with Dad. This was a week later. We went back into it. It was pick up and get these final shots. And everything we had done led up to this. And so I had all these experiences, all these people that I was remembering and really bringing to my forefront. And I have never cried on film, ever. Like, emotional Snapchats are different. But crying on film is completely different. So I told Stefanie that. I was like, I've cried on stage. I can sound like I'm crying, but I don't know if tears are going to come out. And she's like, all right. And so she sent me some songs. She's like, because we're the same zodiac sign, we have a lot of similarities. So she sent me some songs. She's like, if you're anything like me, music's going to help you. So just listen to some music that always brings you back. It makes you remember something in your life that happened, that, you know, because we always attach songs and what's going on in our life to what we're watching and all that stuff. So I was like remembering my family members who had died and songs that had came out whenever that happened. And so I was listening to a lot of music that week gap that we had. So whenever we came in, I was like, I think I'm ready. I did it by myself. I don't know if I can do it with other people in the room. I don't know. And it was cold and I was freezing. And then she played, and this is something that Stefanie did before actually every scene that we shot. She'd go, okay, your name's Georgia, this is blah, blah. We're going to do a theme now. Listen to your music. This is the tone we want to have. And she would play a sample of the music that she wanted to have for the scene already. She already picked out the soundtrack, basically, before we even shot the movie. She's like, this is the energy I want. So she hit that, and the song that she played for me and Dana, right? Or Dina. The song that she played for us, it was our first time meeting. We sat there and just started crying. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready. Are you ready, Dina? And she's like, yes, I'm ready. And so we started in the dark. Like, Stefanie gave us the phone and with the music, and we just sat in the dark together and then started crying. And it was like, okay, I'm ready now. So that was my first time crying on film, and I felt very safe and supported. And Dina's terrific.
Oh, she's amazing. And I'm blubbering behind the camera, like, while you guys are doing it. Like, I'm just, like, silently, like, just tears cascading. And then we get to a point where I'm like, okay, I think we've ended. It seemed like you guys were kind of starting to run out of things. I'm like, okay, and cut. All right, we're going to go to this other angle here. And yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, excuse me. I mean, with you being director and getting so into what you do, Stefanie, I love that. And I loved how you prepared for that scene there, Daryen, and just, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, just really, really emotional. The movie just feels so real after watching. And a lot
of times actors think that they have to tear up in order to be emotional. But there was things I was telling Daryen. It's like, as long as you're feeling something and you're authentically, like, feeling it, it's going to show, whether you're crying or not. Like, she had such good empathetic looks on her face to where you can tell that she was feeling sorry for somebody who's sitting next to her, but she's trying to concentrate on the road and she's trying to do her job, but you can still be like, oh my God, her heart is breaking too at the same point.
Yeah. Yeah, her story. I mean, you shed not too much and not too little, just enough of where the audience knows that what she went through as well. And that's I love that you didn't overplay it with the character, or didn't give it was just right, just enough to know it's like who Georgia Wright is.
Yeah, I think that's the magic of the whole mumblecore thing, is that it's how would I organically respond to this? I wouldn't give them my life story. I wouldn't give full exposition. And so that was it made me feel like this is too natural. Like it didn't feel like I was, not saying I didn't try hard. I did try, but it felt like I was breathing. Like I was just telling her my story just a little bit, not trying to make indulgent because it is about her. So I just felt like it was a lot more human than if I was to memorize my life story and recite that to her. So I felt like a lot more human of an interview. Yeah.
And it was nice too that, like, throughout the whole film, we're sprinkling little nuggets about Georgia to where it's not like she's repeating the same thing to every passenger. There is a couple times where she does say, at a second time that she's from New York, but when you're a rideshare driver, you're probably going to be saying a couple things the same time, the same to different passengers, but you're saying the same things. But then towards the end, like she really connects with this last passenger, and it really affects her. And I think it's really important to show that, especially for the holidays.
Yeah. It definitely is. And just like George's father said in the movie, Christmas is not for everyone. People are there's people who enjoy Christmas and people who don't, and she got to experience that. Georgia got to experience those type of people, actually, riding with them and hearing their stories and hearing about their day or what they were going to do and why this is bad and this and just all this emotion. And it's just this is a really emotional, I mean, just real as it gets. Yeah. And it's great. And when is the film going to be released?
So it's going to be released on Amazon in the US, UK, and Germany on November 1st. And then it'll be on Vimeo also November 1st. And then I'm working with an aggregator for more releases, hoping it to get on Tubi TV, but I don't know exactly when that'll happen. But at least it'll be available for renting and buying for Amazon and Vimeo, kind of like what we did with Hot Mess. Okay.
Now, any film festivals coming up that you have your eye on? Any
I
ones?
submitted to T-Buff, and then I submitted to, there is a Christmas film festival in Germany that I submitted to, and I should be hearing about those, I think, by Halloween. So we'll see. But I mean, Christmas movies are kind of hard to put into festivals, and so unless it's like a holiday themed festival or a local festival, didn't really seem like I wanted to waste the festival fee, and I just wanted to get it out there because it's a different kind of movie, so do it a little different.
One question, a couple more questions about the movie. How many days did it take for you to shoot it, and what type of camera did you use?
So we shot 6 days in a pickup, and then I used my Sony A7S Mark II, and the lens that I use is actually a 1960s Zeiss lens, a Soviet lens that was really gritty and like had that kind of film look, and it's a 50 millimeter, and I'm in love with it. I'm obsessed with it. It's so beautiful.
Is that the one you were saving up to get that one time? Because I remember that.
No, I mean, this one was a couple $100s I found on eBay because I was looking up, because I'd heard that there were some like good vintage lenses, and so I was looking on YouTube and somebody had mentioned that lens, and so I looked up on eBay. I'm like, a couple $100? Okay, let's give it a try. And I tested it out, and I'm like, oh, I love this.
That's amazing. Now, Daryen, did you watch the final cut of the film?
Yes, I did.
And
I've seen versions of it.
Yeah.
And this one, I feel like it really tells the story the best. There was some edits that I saw that were funnier that I loved too. There's so many versions of this film, but I do love this final cut a lot.
Nice.
I think it's really sentimental.
It is.
Yeah.
It's going to be great, and I can't wait for everyone else to see it. And thank you for giving me a early preview of it, because when it does come out, I'm gonna definitely buy it like I bought Hot Mess. I definitely am, because I still got that Vimeo, and it's funny because when I loaded up the app, I loaded it up on my Fire Stick, and I put up my sign-in information. And it's funny, but it showed my name on there, and it said been a member for the last 6 years. I'm like, I've had Vimeo that long? What the heck, man? I didn't even realize I had it for that long, man. I was like, how 6 years I've had this? Wow, this is crazy, man. I was like, and it's all I kind of remember a little bit back when it first came out, because like when YouTube and everything, like, this is like the new thing, and then like Daily Motion, and then now it's like a lot of independent filmmakers as yourself use it, and there's stuff on there where you can browse around. I'm like, I gotta go through and look and see what I can find now, man. This is great.
There's a lot of really great documentaries on Vimeo. Like a lot of indie filmmakers use it because it's free to put your film on, and you actually get 88% of the sales revenue versus Amazon, where I just get half. And so Vimeo is definitely something that a lot of filmmakers like to use more, because we get more of the money back.
Exactly. So you get more money back, so you can make your next film.
Recoup. Yeah.
It works great. It definitely does. But I'm excited. Can't wait for this to drop on November 1st, so everyone can watch this and take a look at it, because it's goes up on Amazon there. I'm definitely going to write a review.
Yeah, the reviews help, especially with the algorithms, because the algorithms are not designed for indie filmmakers.
Yeah. We I've found that out in the last few years. We're talking about a lot of indie filmmakers as yourself. There, it's like Amazon. The reviews work. They help.
Yeah,
they help.
They really do. Yeah.
But this has been fun, man. Getting to talk with you and talk with you, Daryen. Getting to meet you. I'm looking forward to see what you do next. What do you have next? What films or anything?
Right now, I don't have any films lined up, but I will continue to make videos with my performance group for the festival and writing new shows for live theater, just because that's my wheelhouse. But I am very excited to try to do more film acting, because I loved it.
Yeah.
You're amazing at it, man. It almost seems like you come very natural. It comes very natural to you. That's what I've noticed about your acting in the Christmas Ride.
I really appreciated the way she went about it. A lot of the times, the characters, I didn't know any of the backstory. She told them their backstory, and then they got in the car. And I genuinely was like, "Hi, what's your deal?" So it was very organic, and I feel like it brought out a lot of those things that you're talking about were naturally highlighted, because it was real as you can be. But yeah. Thank you, Stephanie.
This was so fun. Like, I want to do more like that, because it's like, in my eyes, it's like we did it like very just kind of one woman crew, bunch of actors, and we were all just having fun. And like, I didn't know if I could pull it off, and it went really well. I'm very happy with the final product. It's like, shoot, I want to do more like that.
Yeah, it's great, man. I mean, when I was watching end credits and stuff and watching, they're
very short credits.
Yeah, very very short credits, but I like this, like everything else done by me. It's like, but that's amazing. That is amazing, and just after this here, anything else you got planned that you can you mentioned you got going on, Stephanie? Anything Bouncy Boxer Media has up their sleeve, or what's
not yet, because the stupid COVID. I mean, once things start to lighten up a little bit, excuse me, I have a couple of things that I want to do. But right now, I've been actually spending a lot of the pandemic writing and connecting with other writers and co-writing with other writers, and just like really working on that and developing scripts that I'm like, well, this is in a good spot. Let me see, what the budget's going to be like and all that. So like, there's a lot of preparation in place right now, to where when things start to kind of fall into place, then it's like, that'll probably be like, and next week I'm filming. You just never know.
That's the queen at preparation. Like, getting everything, solving problems before they happen. She's a genius at it. So anybody who works with her is in great hands.
Thank you.
She is. I mean, she when she shares pictures of her on set and stuff, I mean, she has her game face on, and just those moments being captured there and stuff. And I mean, you're great at what you do, and I enjoyed everything. I've said this before, and I'll always say it. I enjoy everything Bouncy Boxer Media has put out there, and you guys are great putting out films out there, putting out really good, films for women, and it's great. It's great. You got something for everyone out there.
Yeah, and I definitely want to continue that, like doing different genres and playing around with different stories, featuring women, featuring diverse voices, filmmakers of color and actors of color, and just really creating beautiful stuff. I just think it's just a lot of fun coming together and let's all being collaborative and making something for everybody.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's going to be happening on Bouncy Boxer Media. I mean, the 2020 is almost over, which we'll
thank goodness.
We'll put behind us. We'll just put it behind us there and look at 2021. And 2021 is going to be more of a, I think for me, it's just like restart on some things, actually pick up and continue and driving, with a force going forward. I mean, that's all you can do.
Exactly.
With everything that's going on. And, I mean, hell, it is bad living in a state that has like the highest rate with this virus, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. It is. If it's not hurricanes, it's the virus.
Mm-hmm. Right now, it's like, well, which one are we more worried about?
Yeah. It's like let's see how much we can stack on the planet right now and see how they handle it.
Yeah.
Forces of nature, but
pretty soon it'll be like mosquitoes that punch us in the face. I just like foresee that being the next on 2020 bingo.
Yes. Oh, the cabin in the woods. Like who had murder hornets? Like I love that.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny since you said murder hornets there, Daryen.
Yeah.
There was something about like big giant killer bees coming, that was coming over here or something. I was like, what the heck?
That sounds about right.
I was like, this is just crazy. It's just 2020 has just been a crazy year with the pandemic, the rioting, the just everything that's been going on. It's like crazy. It's like Doc Brown, Marty McFly, don't come to 2020. Do not come to 2020.
No.
They probably did, and that's why it's messed up. Whoever had the time machine and stepped on a butterfly, we need to speak.
But what helps us out for the pandemic is we got content for Bouncy Boxer Media.
And thankfully we filmed this during Christmas last year, otherwise
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, pretty much.
To hear the response of people seeing it, because I don't know, so much has changed in our world since we filmed this. I feel human connection like that was already kind of rare. Now we're like severely lacking that human interaction, that normalcy, that, bumping into a stranger. None of that happens anymore. We don't bump into. So I feel like this is going to be really bittersweet, but it's still such a beautiful story. So I feel like people might even connect harder to it because they miss being able to do that. Or
they've been needing to hear somebody say that it's okay. Yeah. If they picture themselves as one of those passengers, hearing Georgia saying, it's okay, your feelings are valid. Like sometimes I've actually had another podcast who screened it and we had done an interview and he said, I really connected to one of your characters and I felt like that was me in the car. Amazing. So it's like, that's what I'm hoping that people will take from it, is that there's something for everybody there. We touch on topics of, we talk about Hanukkah, we talk about, seeing your family, we talk about people not spending time with their families, toxic families. Like there's just so many things that the holidays bring that people don't realize. And it's nice that we get to put it all in this one package and just let people enjoy it and like really see what speaks to them.
The two brothers going to the theme park. I love that there because it reminded me like meeting up with friends and going to do something. I love that. I love that there. And just the characters,
diversity.
Thank you. That right there, it's just, you have a lot of that, and that's what I like. No two characters had the same thing going on with them. I mean, I did like the old guy sitting there. He's like, yeah, going out for Christmas, gonna have a drink with a lady friend. Yeah. Like, all right, just something just like that, because he reminded me of someone I would see, run into at work or someplace, or you'd over here. It's like, hey, what you doing? Yeah, gonna go meet my lady friend, gonna have a drink, gonna have a It's like, all right, I love that. I love that, and just the characters. I mean, you're good with characters, Stephanie. Pulling these characters out.
I'm nothing without these amazing actors. Like, they're the ones that really take them to a whole other level that I couldn't even imagine, and that's what brings it all together.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job. They bringing these characters to life, because when you have it there on paper, and then when you get everything to, it's like, bring this character to life, and they do it. It's magic. It happens.
It is.
It happens right there. I love it.
I'm really excited to see what Bouncy Boxer does in 2021 and beyond, because I know Stephanie wants to have this variety of genre, and I just want to see her do a slasher film really bad. Really bad.
I want to.
I know.
Oh, that would be cool. I mean, okay. Since we put Stephanie on the spot here, okay, we got it. Okay. All right. Slasher film. Dark comedy.
I would totally do it.
Dark? Would it be like a comedy type slasher film, or would it be a serious slasher film?
It would be more like a serious cautionary tale, I think. Something a little different than just someone being chased. I think I like those psychological horrors, like ones that really mess with your mind, or things that's like, that could happen to me. Like, those freak me out more than anything else, where it's like, that could happen to me. Somebody could be in my backseat and like take me in. So it's like, if I were going to do horror, it'd be something like a cautionary tale.
Cautionary tale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like horror, Daryen?
I love it. That's why I'm excited about it. I'm like, yes, that's what I want to see next. So yeah. No pressure.
No pressure. Let me guess, Stephanie. For effects, you'd get Dominic Smith.
Practical. Well, Dom doesn't do effects, but he's like the top-notch editor that I would definitely want to have the part of that. But Carl Huber does amazing effects and stuff. But of course, practicals. I don't want to do any of that digital blood. It's gotta be real.
You want the real? Yeah, digital blood stuff. I can't stand it.
Nah.
It's not that great. It is definitely not that great. I think the last kind of like thriller type movie I seen, because I got one of those. My nephew jailbroke my Fire Stick, and he put some crazy apps on there. I can get movies on there, which is great. I think I watched, what was it? I watched a few good movies during when I wasn't working. I watched Underwater with Kristen Stewart. Did you see that?
It looks good though.
Yeah. Alien. Think of Aliens in the Abyss, but underwater. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that monster. Don't want to give too much away. That monster. Oh man, that thing. They woke up the wrong thing. That's seriously. Kristen Stewart, I thought she did amazing. The female in that played in Iron Fist, that was what's his name, Danny Rand's love interest. You know what I'm talking about? In Iron Fist. You didn't see that?
I didn't see Iron Fist.
She's in it. She did really good. But Kristen Stewart, I don't understand how people are like, oh man, it's just. I watched it. I was like, this is great. She did great.
She's an amazing actress. You need to watch The Clouds of Sils Maria. That's an amazing performance by her.
I liked her in American Ultra. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got to go back and watch that, because you ever put a movie on when you're so tired that you want to watch it but you fall asleep? And
Yep.
That happened to me. I got to go back and watch that. It's been a couple years ago. I went to watch that and I was so tired. I'm like, yeah, I got to stay awake and see this, and I was out and I never did go back and watch it. But it I heard that was off the wall there. I mean, that movie, right? It was just crazy. It's based on
like novel too, which makes it even cooler.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies with who was in American Ultra? Who was the lead again? I always forget his name. Michael.
Not Michael Cera, but Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesse. Okay. I always get those two mixed up. Because I still love.
That was a Jeopardy question the other day.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were watching.
It was like
Jeopardy.
celebrity lookalikes.
Yeah,
Jeopardy.
I like watching it, man. I like watching it. Believe it or not, my daughter, when she was 1 year old, she liked sitting there in front of the TV watching it. It's because she loved hearing Alex Trebek's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always get those two mixed up. Mixed up because I still like
Characters, I think. But
Yeah.
I did see Zombieland Double Tap. I did see
That one was good.
yeah.
Yeah, that was great there. I love that. Emma Stone, I think she's just great. I mean, she's great. I still love my two favorite Michael Cera movies is Scott Pilgrim First World. That's one of them.
Oh yeah.
And the one he did with Jonah Hill. I can't believe
Super bad.
Yes, super bad. I cannot believe it's just brain fart.
Me and Stephanie watch the same stuff, so yeah, we know.
Yeah. Those are two of my favorite ones there. I'd have to say Mike. What's his name? Ant-Man.
Paul Rudd?
Yeah, why is my brain going like brain dead, man? Yeah, Paul Rudd. Ant-Man is one of my favorites, and Role Models with Sean William Scott. See, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have those both on Blu-ray. I found those a while back ago, and one of the things movies I got to watch, I'll buy DVDs and Blu-rays and just send them in the house, and I'll forget them. So I came across this box set I have called American Gangster. It had like Scarface, Carlito's Way, which I never watched Carlito's Way. I watched it. I thought it was great. American Gangster with Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe. Damn, that movie is just emotional, just driven, just wow. Denzel was just great in that movie.
He's great in everything.
Oh God, yeah. He's one of my favorite actors. Training Day, my favorite movie.
Yeah, that one's really good.
Him playing the bad guy. Another one, Devil in a Blue Dress. Went to the theaters and seen that back in the day when I came out. Russell Crowe, he was just great in American Gangster. And then I watched that one movie with Tom Cruise. It was based off the true story where he was a pilot that actually. Oh
yeah, and the girlfriend was like half his age.
Yeah, yeah. Damn, I forget the name of the movie, but it's based off a true story. Yeah, his character gets approached by the CIA to fly in to Colombia, and he meets up with that famous drug cartel guy, and he ends up flying drugs back into the States for him. And the funniest part, like if you've seen the trailer for it, is when he flies into the neighborhood. That was hilarious because he lands in the neighborhood because like the Air Force is on him and he's trying to lose them, so he crashes into a neighborhood and all this coke like he has like packed in the back of his plane. When he crashes, it explodes all over him, and these kids are looking at this plane and they're seeing this guy come out of a plane covered white with coke. And he's like pulls money out to the little kid. He says, "Here, you didn't see me." Takes their bike and rides off.
Oh jeez,
that's like one of I just laugh out moments there. I was like, this is crazy, but it ends like you don't expect. And then I'd have to say one of my favorite Matt Damon and Christian Bale movies I did watch was Ford vs. Ferrari.
Oh yeah, that one looked like it was pretty good. Yeah.
Christian Bale, you're talking about like method acting and stuff. God, one of my favorite method actors. I mean, just he did that movie at Mark Wahlberg, Fighting, I think it was.
The Fighter.
Yeah, The Fighter. One of my favorite movies there. He's a great method actor there.
Yeah.
And I'd put him and Heath Ledger up as one of my favorite. Like, I mean, Heath Ledger, like, I have to go back to Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Like, you had him and Christian Bale in the same room, both fantastic method actors. I mean, don't get any better than that.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to the any superhero movies coming out later this year? I know I'm looking forward to seeing Wonder Woman,
Black Widow, and Wonder Woman, but I know Wonder Woman got pushed to January, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Black Widow still has been postponed indefinitely right now.
Yeah.
Just because like nobody's going to be going to the theaters anytime soon, and the with those kind of movies, you cannot do those like at home $30 things because it's not going to do well, and they've already paid so much money for it. Like they need to be able to recoup their money, and they don't know how to do it right now.
Yeah, I know they put Bill and Ted. You had the option.
I drove 45 minutes just to go see Bill and Ted in the theater.
Oh, did you? Did you? Wow.
Did you go to a drive-in?
No, actually, it was a theater. I was able to be like 5-10 seats away from people. It was pretty awesome.
Cool. I'm wondering about that now, about the theater thing, because me and my wife like to go to the theaters, see a movie and stuff. Now, how is that now with the COVID? What are they doing now?
At least at the theater I went to, it was like an automated, you went in and you ordered your ticket on a touch screen, and if you picked one seat, you have to order your partner's ticket with you, because if you order one seat, you have to sit 5 seats away from the next seat over. So you have to order this together. But then I was able to get my ticket, like not come in contact with anybody, and then after I walked away, an employee came up and like wiped down the screen and everything. So I was able to, of course you have to wear the mask the entire time, but I was able to go up, get my drink, my food, whatever, and then hand sanitizer, and then go in the theater and like be far away from anybody. And you wear your mask the entire time while you're watching the movie too. So if you have glasses, it's probably not a good idea, but it was doable. It's cold in there, so you don't get overheated with a mask on. I felt pretty comfortable.
That's good.
And safe, because they sanitize the seats before you go in there. So at least where I went to, it was like the Escape or something in Riverview. But yeah.
Oh, I know where that is.
Yeah, that's where I went. There wasn't many people there. There's maybe 10 other people, maybe, in that huge theater.
Yeah.
So I thought it was nice.
All right, that's good to know.
Intimate, personal viewing of it on a big screen. Good shit.
Yeah.
You don't. It's such a good experience going into the theaters and seeing a movie. So I think it was worth it. I don't do it all the time, but I thought that was like a nice trip outside.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I was wondering how that was going about, what they were doing, because when they had the theaters closed down there for a while, and now they reopened them, and how they handling this.
Yeah. A lot of drive-ins. I've noticed that a lot of drive-ins have came back good. I think that was like a kind of a dying venue. So I think that this is kind of like a resurgence, which is awesome in a way. I love that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Having the resurgence there. I know. Just not too long ago, I think it was a few weeks ago, Metallica had like a drive-in like concert thing you go to. Oh yeah, it was cool. Yeah, Metallica did. They had it, and it was in selected drive-ins across the United States there. And what they did was, yeah, I know it sounds crazy. It's like Metallica having a drive-in concert. Yeah, they did. They pulled it off. They shot a concert prior to out in the desert someplace or location, and they basically came up with a set list and jammed out their set list, and they put it up on a drive-in theater, and you sit there and you drive up and you sit there with the speaker and jam out the Metallica, man.
That's awesome.
I was like, that's cool. That is cool. And a lot of bands are doing like online, like virtual concerts now. Because
I do appreciate that. Yeah.
What's that?
I do appreciate that, like being able to still hear live music. I like being able to see people perform their songs, and so live streaming has been awesome. And people have been writing whole albums during the pandemic.
Oh yeah,
which is very cool.
A lot of the artists, they have home studios, and so they're just like, shoot, I'm just gonna make music if I can't go anywhere. It's
amazing. I know. What was it? I think it was like a lot of bands put like special songs, and there's bands that like people from different bands that got together and collaborated and came out with songs. I think it's amazing there. Yeah.
Pandemic has been absolutely horrible. I hate it. But so many new things have happened and collaborations and people being able to do things remote, things that we probably should have figured out before this. I really feel like you were talking about the film festivals, being able to watch them even though you're not there. Like, I feel like that's something that should have been a thing earlier. I know going there is like sentimental and you're in person in the theater, but I think that there's a lot of things that we could have been doing for years now, but we're doing it now. And so some good things have come from it. That's about it.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of good things. Yeah, they like the Comic-Cons. They're finally showing those. They're finally showing those online now. I mean, they have
that thing.
They started showing those things. I mean, I know a lot of people is upset about it. I have a friend. He's like, I can't go to a con. It's like you can watch.
Yeah, you can't go to a convention and get sick.
Yeah.
Because we always get sick at these things because you're in contact with so many people. Like even before the pandemic, like I work trade shows and stuff, and it's like I'm already in practice of washing my hands and hand sanitizing after I'm around a bunch of people.
A lot of common sense. But yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much, I mean, just, and also too is like, just, it's wash your hands after you use the bathroom. You know, a lot of people, just wash your hands, and you know, it's the basic things that we've been doing, but a lot of people have like not do. They go to the bathroom, they do their business, and walk out. It's like sink, soap. Yeah. You know, it's just like that. And just I touch a lot of stuff every day, like boxes of stuff, so I'm always there with the hand sanitizer. I'm always washing my hands constantly. And even before this, we had hand sanitizer stations. You walk by, sanitize, and it's just I touch money, sanitize.
Oh yeah,
everything. Even when I this may sound weird, before I leave work, I wash my hands. I get home, before I touch my daughter, touch anybody, my wife, my dog, I go wash my hands again. It's just a habit. It's just a habit. I got into doing that habit there, and it's just practicing, you know, good habits. I mean, when you get up in the morning, it's like, you know, for me, fix a cup of coffee, then brush my teeth, take a shower. You know, it's like I've got my daughter to do the same thing. She get up in the morning, go to the bathroom, brush her teeth. You know, one day I was sitting there, she's like, Daddy, help me. Okay, I'm helping her, set her on the toilet, and I squatted right next to her, setting her on the toilet, and she leaned over to me and she's talked, and I was like, oh God. I'm like brushing her teeth. And she looked at me like the look I gave her, and she's like, no. I was like, yes. I was like, your breath stinks. She goes, my breath don't stink. I was like, yeah. I was like, we're brushing your teeth, but no cavities, thank God. No cavities. I mean, yeah, she's getting a mouthful of teeth, and she's growing so much. We measured her on the side of her, like on her door. We got like where we measured her and stuff. I think she's gonna be about 5'8". My wife thinks 5'9". And I told my wife, I said, it's not from my side of the family. Because I'm 5'6", and it was funny because one of her year shows that we had, I think it was our 1 year show for Podcasting Network we had, one of the shows came in from like New York, and when the host seen me, she looked at me, and first thing she did was like, oh, I thought you'd be taller. I'm like, what? I'm like, what?
I think I get that a lot.
Yeah, it's like, what do you mean? She's like, you look big on camera, but you're small in person. I'm like, thanks. You know? I was like, whatever. Yeah, that it happens sometimes. Yeah, they'll see me on camera here, and then when they meet me in person, it's like, yeah, I'm 5'6", I'm normal size. But if I had a Gene Simmons outfit, I'd be 5'8" with the platform shoes on.
Yeah.
That's something. Halloween. What are you guys gonna be doing for Halloween? What do you have anything planned, or what's going on with Halloween around the area there?
Technically, I'll be performing on Halloween on stilts, so I'm above everybody wearing a mask. Busch Gardens is doing a outdoor situation, so we're able to stay away from people and be scary from a distance, and I'll be on stilts doing that.
Oh, nice.
Well, the movie comes out the day after Halloween, so I'll probably be doing a bunch of just social media, whatnot, and like preparing and probably accidentally releasing it early like I did with Hot Mess and
yeah,
crazy.
I remember that. You just
Whoops.
Whoops. Oh, here you go. But this weekend, is there something going on this weekend too? I think you mentioned to me, Stefanie. What's going on? Or was it?
I think it was that. Isn't this Busch Gardens? Isn't the Halloween starting this week, Daryen?
No, I think Universal's doing like a little thing. I'm not sure about it. We're opening this weekend, the 25th of September.
This has been great talking with you and getting to talk with you, Stefanie, and getting to talk with you, Daryen. Watching the Christmas ride, I feel like I've already know you.
Aw, that's great.
Yeah, I love it. I love the green hair. I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
I love the green hair. I loved it.
Tomorrow I dye my hair orange, so this is the last day as a brunette. That's my next for Halloween.
Yay!
Nice, amazing. Where can people find more of Stefanie Davis and Daryen Ratte on social media at?
Well, I am personally on social media as Stefanie Davis, and that's Stefanie with an F. Bouncy Boxer Media is on all platforms. The movie Christmas Ride is on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as Christmas Ride on Twitter, and Christmas Ride Movie on Instagram and Facebook. And then Daryen.
I'm going to make it public. I have a Facebook actor page, so
when?
People can find me.
When and where and what is it? Because I need to start tagging you and stuff.
I'll make it public. It's
okay.
Daryen Ratte Performer, I think is what it says. But yeah, I usually keep my life pretty personal, but I'm realizing that's not how marketing works. So
it's not.
We're getting jobs or networking, so I'm slowly branching out, and I'm going to start posting, reels or photos or, those type of things on that. I'm new at this. Basketball dev. It's only on Facebook.
Well, you're on Instagram.
Yeah, I do have an Instagram. I do. We'll figure it out. But right now, it'll be the Facebook page, Daryen Ratte Performer. And that's for right now. That's all we got.
All right. Amazing. And since you plugged that there, I want to plug this right here.
Podcasting Network, your top source for independent podcasting. Head over to podcasting.net. Follow them on social media, Podcasting Network on Facebook, Twitter at PodcastCityNet. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Podcasting Network, and on Twitch, /Podcast City Network. Podcasting Network. Be creative, be independent, be yourself.
When I need a logo or graphic design done, I use 3 Count Design. 3 Count Design offers a wide range of graphic design products, video, photography, and other forms of media. Everything from t-shirt designs to websites. For more information, head over to facebook.com/3countdesign. That is facebook.com/3countdesign. When I want to kick back a few cold ones with my friends, I head over to City Limits Taproom. City Limits Taproom has a wide selection of TVs to watch your favorite sports, indoor and outdoor seating. They are pet friendly. City Limits Taproom also has food made fresh to order and the grilled cheese is excellent. I recommend the grilled cheese and the apple pie cider. The fries on the side, can't go wrong with that, baby. For more information for upcoming events, head over to facebook.com/City Limits Taproom. I want to thank Stefanie Davis and Daryen Ratte for coming on the program, but there's one last thing I do want to mention before we do close. I am sorry sincerely about what, when you messaged me right before we did the show, came on here to do this tonight, Stefanie, about one of your castmates and close friends. What happened?
Yes. Zachary Vazquez, who plays one of our passengers, last weekend, he was in a head-on collision car accident. He's been through surgeries since then, and he's going to have a very long road of recovery. There is a GoFundMe page that I've sent to you to put in the show notes. But if you just look up Zachary Vazquez, and that's VAZQEZ, on GoFundMe, you should find it. But he is predominantly a performer, and he's got several injuries that's going to hinder that for a while. And so any help anybody can bring, any words of encouragement is much appreciated. He's like one of the most hardest working guys around here, and like seriously the nicest person. Yeah.
Prayers and thoughts to Zachary, and I when you sent that to me, I was like, wow. I mean, it just it's bad, and I pray and hope he does pull through it, man. Mm-hmm. I definitely do. And as Stefanie mentioned, that will be in the show notes of this, so please help out, donate what you can to help out Zachary. Please, just a little, whatever you can do. And that's it for this episode of the Everett Lee Show. I want to thank my guests, Stefanie and Daryen, for coming on. And let's see you again next week for another episode of the Everett Lee Show. Peace.